Georgette, this is so awesome. You don't know how many.
Well, what it is that we're bringing an issue that has been in the closet, if you will, for so many years. What I found in doing those emails, I did email counseling, if you will, for 3 years. And as I did that, I couldn't believe the number of women and men who were hurting, and grandmothers and grandfathers. And when I thought about my own daughter's situation, and I got mad. I started getting mad because I'd go to the March for Life, and I would go to the candlelight vigil that Now and NARAL would hold. And they would talk about the fact that it was safe and it was legal, and abortion, was this perfect answer to a problem pregnancy. And I'm thinking, what about all the women I'm dealing with? Do they not hear from these women?
No.
And then I thought,
no follow-up.
Because what happens is, if a woman's hurting, and people say to her who support abortion, oh, it's for the best, you can have a baby another time, or, this was what you had to do for now. They're not answering and honestly affirming her feelings and giving her her right to her feelings. She has the right to abortion, but she doesn't have the right to her feelings.
They don't really give her a choice, which is so hysterical, because it's, choice, but they're not offering her any choice but this.
But on the other side,
but abortion.
Yeah, on the other side, unfortunately, we tend to fear the judgment of the pro-lifers, because we don't know them firsthand. I didn't know pro-lifers. I thought they were judging me. But now that I'm involved, I know that there's a compassionate group.
I want to tell you, it's exactly the opposite. I want to be here to tell you that there are so many post-aborted women out on the street in the pro-life movement, working in the crisis
pregnancy centers and everything.
And so they're very much involved to save one other woman. They're really my heroes also, because they want to really just save one other woman. But just quickly, I'll tell you my story. I was very pro-choice. I say I was the first generation of aborted women. I had bought into the whole lingo, it's my body and that whole
my
nonsense,
body, my right, my problem.
I was about as dumb as you could be. And then I had a miscarriage in 1981, and I saw this perfectly formed baby at 7 weeks. And I said, they lied to me. They lied to me. This is not a lump of tissue. It's got arms, legs. They lied to me. And that was my awakening. But then where I came from there, after I was pro-life forever that day, and then I started noticing around me, my women friends, especially in college, having abortions, and seeing the dramatic difference physically, emotionally. I mean, and I said, well, geez, if they lied that it wasn't a lump of tissue, are they lying that this is safe and legal and good for women? You bet they are. And that was my awakening. And then, of course, meeting women after that. But
well, and that's why we really felt, I saw all these women. I was developing friendships and relationships and watching them go through healing. And I just thought, we're just perpetuating this, because we, as the women who have been there, done that, we need to be speaking out. We're the consumers. We understand how the product has affected us. We know what abortion has done firsthand. We're the face of choice, unfortunately. So I felt it was really incumbent upon us to begin to raise awareness about the truth about abortion, and really begin to put this issue on the table. And so I thought about AIDS awareness that we're doing throughout this country, and breast cancer awareness. And I thought, well, if we do it for breast cancer and AIDS, why can't we do it for abortion? Why can't we stand up and talk about what abortion really did to us? And so we got a group of women, and we started connecting in a network throughout this country. And in 2003, January of 2003, we had a network of women who were leading small gatherings of women out in public places, and we would stand up, and we had these big black signs with white letters that say, "I regret my abortion," on it, and we would hold the sign, and then one by one we would go up to the microphone, and in like a 2 to 3 minute little statement, we would share what abortion had done to us, how we thought it was going to fix a problem of an unplanned pregnancy, and then how it created all these other problems, how we've had to deal with relationship problems bonding with other children in the future, how we've had drug and alcohol problems, how we've been emotionally numb, how we've dealt with depression, how we've had to struggle to keep a job. We've struggled with decision making. We've struggled with the desire to kill ourselves because we feel that's what we deserve. I met a woman last year, actually, from Pennsylvania, who came up to me and was telling me about how she self-mutilated her body as a form of punishment because she felt that's what she deserved. So nobody was talking about this, so we stood up and we began speaking out. And I have to admit that I was shocked by the response. I mean, people were so surprised and glad to hear that the truth was finally being told. So many people would say, write us and say, you know, my sisters lived this way. I'm so glad you're finally talking about it because we don't want to see other girls continue to be hurt. We have 30 years of women, 31 years of women who are the walking wounded. We are, you know, the survivors of abortion, but we've been suffering in silence. And, you know, I'm to the place where it's like, no more. I've come to the place where I feel like women deserve better than abortion, and we need to just come to the place where we see that abortion should never be considered for a woman facing an unplanned pregnancy, no matter what her circumstances are. We are a nation. We are one of the wealthiest nations in the world. We should be able to help women facing unplanned pregnancies. We should be able to really come alongside women who don't want to be pregnant, help them through that 9-month period of time, help them to understand the value of adoption and to be able to place their child with a family and give them back their freedom in their lives, but not give them a life that is then spent dealing with this pain.
Right.
I mean, yes, 9 months is a long time to go through a pregnancy, but it's a whole lot shorter than a lifetime of regret. And so, you know, I'm really thrilled with what the campaign is doing. We were able to get Jennifer O'Neill, who's the famous actress from the Summer of 42 movie, to become our spokesperson. And so she's able to get out and speak on some of the national television programs to help us raise awareness at a more national level. But we are all doing our part at a local level, too.
God, love you. This is great news. Just great news.
Thanks.
If I could just rehash and bite on an old shoe here for a minute. I don't want to go to this victim status, but the liberal media, if you would have, has painted all pro-lifers, if you will, as we're religious zealots that are saints. We've never had any sin. We've never committed any sin, and we're these religious zealots out there being judgmental. Nothing I can tell you would be further from the truth. And the same way as they painted to me as a woman entering college in 1973 that abortion was safe and legal because the government supports abortion, i.e. supports Planned Parenthood, and because they have all the media spin because they have all the money, and pro-life is mostly grassroots organizations, because they had the spin on all that. As a matter of fact, in the newspaper, when you write a newspaper article, they have to call us anti-abortionists. You know what I mean? We can't even be called pro-lifers; it's to be called anti. So the whole spin that we're these people is totally incorrect. I can tell you, I'm out on the street. Many of the women are post-aborted. My heart was totally in it for the women. That's why, you know, part of the reason God called me to this, because it was totally about seeing my women friends being destroyed.
Sure.
And the same way that media paints pro-lifers as, you know, anti-choicers, the same media has spin that abortion is good for women, that it's safe, it's legal, it's good for them, it's a good answer. The facts of the matter, it's not a good answer. It's no answer at all. Well, I was in social work. I know some of the things that are available. And I say, why aren't they paying that there's all this help? Why are they saying this is your only way out? You know? Well,
you know, I think the one thing that I've really come to understand is that a lot of the people that are involved in the media are actually post-abortive. And it's a form of denial that they have to.
I have to
take this.
Interrupt you here for another break, Georgette,
sure,
if you will.
Understand.
Please hold. Thank you. Come right back. Come right back to this exciting show. Love them both.